So I've made a few videos now about happiness, and I'll put the playlist up at the top here and I'll probably link it in the description. But I'm afraid I only solved part of the puzzle. My main theory goes around this idea of how you need to be fulfilled in life. There's a classic saying, I think it's Sigmund Freud, correct me if I'm wrong, that a man can bear almost any how for a good enough why. So like basically you can go through anything if your why is strong enough, if you're doing something fulfilling. That's just part of the puzzle, because let's be honest, you're never really going to feel happy a lot of the time if you're having to go through absolute shit through the trenches to achieve something you really want to do. You're going to be in a state of happiness because you're fulfilled and you're able to live life and move forward. But I think that difference between feeling happy and being happy kind of contributes to this new theory. Well, it's not a new theory, it's just like an extra part of the puzzle of happiness. And I've never actually really explained properly what being happy is, because I kind of just felt it, I never could articulate it. But I've started using this new meditation app by Sam Harris called Waking Up, and in that, his way of meditation, I believe it's Dzogchen, is like a ancient Buddhist type of meditation where it's all about consciousness, your senses, vision, hearing, taste, smell, vision, hear, touch. That's the last one. And for me, it was the idea that in one of the lessons he spoke about that our natural state as a human being is happy. The reason that people are unhappy is because there's so many things layered on top of that. So you've got all your technology that you use, social media, just regular media, negative people in your life, all this sort of clouds your natural state of being. It clouds your presence in the world. And when I speak about presence, I mean feeling all of your senses at once. It's the realization that we are simply the vessel that is perceiving the world. I'll say that again because this point really kind of hit home with me, is we are simply the vessel that perceives the world. That is what we are as humans. Like, we are just our perception of the world. Like, we are just perceiving things. We are interpreting the information around us. And when you take away thoughts out of this equation and you literally just sit there, you feel, for me, the chair that I'm sitting on, the t-shirt that I'm wearing, the microphone here, the bit of the armrest that are on my leg. I really focus on the vision. On my vision, I see everything that I see, all my peripherals up around here. I hear every noise, and I smell every smell, and I taste every taste. Obviously I'm not eating at the moment, but that just like feeling in my mouth, you know, like when you got that like nothing taste. That's presence. And if that sounds very confusing and overwhelming, I completely understand, because I've been meditating for on and off a year or so, but most consistently over the last sort of 2-3 months, which I've spoken about in my self-improvement in real life series. You can teach yourself how to be present. When you're present, there is nothing but your natural state. It's very hard to be agitated. You can't be agitated, or anxious or angry when you're just perceiving the world around you, just seeing things for how they are. It's literally, if you see a fight, yeah, you could think negative thoughts about, oh, it's aggression, I don't like that, or whatnot. Or you could just look at it and realize it's a fight that happens in the world. There's a very important thing in Stoicism, that you don't have to have an opinion about that. And I think that's where a lot of people ruin their own state of calm, and their mind just kind of drifts to a lot of negative things, because you see a lot of negativity in the world right now, especially in the news, all this sort of stuff. But it's realizing that actually you don't have to have an opinion on that. You see something negative, yeah, you accept that that's part of the world. There's negative parts of the world, but you don't have to go in depth and think, what do I think about this? You just, okay, that happens. And that's such a key part of being happy, is realizing you don't have to have an opinion on everything. And if you're just to strip yourself, be able to regularly strip yourself down to just your raw, natural state, which is something you practice. And that's the advice for this video, is to practice meditation, to teach yourself to get into that level of calm. I wouldn't even say calm, it's just that level of being. You're just being. You're not thinking about what you're doing. You don't think, I need to be looking. You just look. You don't think about, I need to breathe. I don't need to feel my breath. You just feel it. You don't think about hearing. You just hear. You just be. And that's probably going to sound very confusing at first, but once you sort of practice meditation, and if you've practiced meditation before, you may have felt these benefits, but it does take regular, consistent practice with the right tools. And for me, the right tool is Sam Harris's app, Waking Up. I used Headspace for months before now, and I learned the very basic concept of meditation, but it was very sort of watered down, and every single meditation was more or less the same. There'd be like a small lesson at the start of it, but then every single game meditation was the same, and it felt very boring for me, and I kind of didn't really wake up and want to go to meditate. But now I'll literally every morning I'll get up and like, I get to meditate this morning, and it becomes enjoyable. I don't have like a sponsor or anything. I don't have like a link for you. Just search up Waking Up on the App Stores by Sam Harris, and it is a paid thing, so it's something you have to invest in. But when you realise that your mind is the most important thing in the world, that investment is logical. It's purely like, there's no other option than to train your mind if you want to have a happy, positive life, if you want to be successful. Anything you want to do in life that means that you're getting in a situation better than where you are now, self-improvement, you need to train your mind to think differently. I think it was Sam Harris that said that you know what to think. People always teach you what to think. In school they teach you what to think, in uni they teach you what to think, and here I'm teaching you what to think. When you train the mind, you meditate, you learn how to think. And that for me is a fundamental part of my life now. It's something I will refuse to take out. I meditate every single morning. That's the advice. Get yourself meditating. I recommend Waking Up. You can also use whatever app you want, but for me he's the best person I found to explain meditation as well as giving me guided meditations to do. So that being said, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.